Jacko here, welcome back to another video looking at breathing and how we can improve our breathing to change the way we feel, change the way we move and improve the way we perform. If you're landing on today's video, it's likely you're looking at ways you can improve the way that you sleep. And if we can improve the way we sleep, we're going to improve the way we recover, we're going to improve the way we wake up and feel the next day. And in this video specifically, we're going to look at how we can change our breathing patterns to ensure that we are breathing through the nose to getting the best restful night's sleep. Now we're going to be looking at ways we can use tape to tape our mouth closed at night to ensure we stay breathing through the nose. Now if that sort of like freaks you out a bit or alarms you, like just bear with me. This is something when I first read it in the Oxygen Advantage book, I was like, what? Tape my mouth at night? I like what I'm reading about all this other stuff at that. Nah, that's just a bit too weird. And then what am I doing now? I'm taping my mouth at night when I'm sleeping. That was I'm taping my mouth at night when I'm sleeping because it has such a big effect on how we sleep and how amazing we wake up feeling in the morning. Now, for some people, the first time they do it, they wake up in the morning and they feel amazing. For others, and like me, it took a number of days and actually weeks before the thing would stay on at night. And if it was coming off, because either it was literally waking up in the morning, it was off, or in the middle of the night it was off, or I'd inadvertently rip it off during the night for some reason. And it just took a bit of time to get used to it. But eventually, if you stick with it, it's going to pay dividends. And it's likely that if it won't stay on, it's likely that you are trying to breathe out through your mouth. And I'll explain now why it's so important that we do breathe through the nose during our sleep. We know how important sleep is, okay? And so it's important that you're getting a decent amount of sleep, but not just the amount of sleep, the quality of your sleep. If you're waking up in the morning with a dry mouth, it's likely that you've been sleeping with your mouth open, and that's not good for your airways. It's not good for the way that you're breathing during your sleep. The thing about breathing in and out of the mouth is, and I've talked about this in another video, which you'll find links to. I'll put a thing up somewhere around the importance of nasal breathing. And if you think that hopefully you're getting maybe 8 hours sleep, you've got a period of time there where we want that sleep where you're not consciously in control of it. We want to try and set ourselves up to be able to maintain good, light, low breathing in and out through the nose, which isn't causing us stress, which is allowing us to be in a parasympathetic rest, digest, recover sort of state or tone during our sleep, so we do get that restful night's sleep and we do wake up feeling refreshed in the morning. If you're breathing with your mouth open, you'll wake up with a dry mouth in the morning. You'll try and tape your mouth and it'll be quite difficult to do it. You'll fight against it to start with, because we need to start to teach ourselves to, when we're not even consciously thinking about it, to be able to breathe through the nose. And taping the mouth obviously helps with that, because that mouth breathing is linked to that upper chest breathing, that fight or flight stress response. We don't want to be upper chest shallow breathing whilst we're asleep at night. We want to set ourselves up to be able to breathe through the nose. So in a second, I will show you how to use very simple M3M micropore tape to tape your mouth. 2 different ways to do it. But just to say, before we even think about doing that, we should be thinking about what is our breathing like during the day. So whilst you are unconsciously or not in control of it when you're asleep, we want to work on our breathing patterns and habits when we are awake, when we are conscious, and we can slow them down and control them. So anytime you can throughout the day, I want you to bring your awareness to your breathing. Can you maintain nasal breathing in and out through the nose, and try to lighten it as much as you can throughout the day to just generate that habit so that when you go to sleep, you're used to it. One of the great things to do is for 10-15 minutes before you go to bed, whilst you're lying in there, just start to breathe in and out of the nose. Try to relax. Try to prolong your exhales slightly, so your exhalations, prolonging those so that they're longer than the inhales, helps to shift us towards that relaxed parasympathetic state, set you up for a great night's sleep. And if you're doing that light and slow from the nose, utilizing the diaphragm, then that's going to help you to obviously it's like set up the tone and the patterns for your breathing once you then drop off to sleep. So when you are asleep, if you are with your mouth open, if you're snoring is a great sign of this. If you're snoring with your mouth open, making making noises like that, then shut your mouth where you talk to me, shut your mouth where you're sleeping. If you keep your mouth shut whilst you're asleep, it's very likely that you will stop your snoring. You won't wake up with a dry mouth, and you'll feel more refreshed and get a better night's sleep. The other thing is, if you snore through your nose, like snoring through your nose, that type of noise, and ask your partner, if you haven't got a partner, maybe video is, well, you're going to know whether you snore or not, hopefully. And if you snore through your nose, taping your mouth isn't necessarily going to just change that, but the lighter sleeping is going to help with that. Because if you try now, try to make that snoring noise through your nose if you breathe very lightly through your nose. So if you slow down your breath in through the nose, you can't make that noise. So lightening the breath and slowing it down is going to help improve our sleep quality by improving the quality of our breathing whilst we are sleeping. So lightening it and then taping the mouth. So how do we tape the mouth? Two things recommend, and then I'm also going to give you a job to do before you actually get in bed with it on as well. So 3M micropore tape looks like this, and take a strip off. If you don't have a beard, option 1 can work quite nicely, where you're going to go for the vertical stripe. You're going to stick it across like that, and as you can see, it's going to encourage my mouth to stay closed, but there's gaps either side and I can actually talk. Now, one of my clients did, she had the best night's sleep after doing this, but she said, Jacko, this is doing nothing for my sex life. Apologies, you're going to have to separate those two things, or at least if there's someone else in your bed, and hopefully you know who they are, if you have a partner, warn them that this is what you're going to do. Get them to join in on it as well, because they're going to get a better night's sleep as well. So the vertical stripe is option 1. Gives you space either side. You definitely don't feel that sense of suffocation because you have the option to use the space either side of the mouth, but it's going to encourage the mouth to be closed. Only issue with that then obviously is you can still breathe out of your mouth. It's just not going to be like hanging open. So if you want to make sure that it stays completely closed and just doing the vertical strip doesn't actually, you still find that you're breathing in and out of your mouth, or you've got a beard and actually it doesn't stick to it that well, you need to go for the horizontal, straight across the lips. So tear off a little piece like that, and then you're going to, it's quite good to just pull your lips together a little bit and just tuck them under ever so slightly. So you're not pouting out and putting it on a pout, you're just tucking them under ever so slightly, create a little bit of tension on them, and right across. That was right, and then I literally basically can't do anything. So mouth a little bit together with a little bit of tension hooked underneath, straight across the front, and that's going to literally seal that baby off, and you ain't going to be taking any breath in and out of your mouth. Now, to start with, that might feel a little bit suffocating if you're not used to breathing in and out of your nose. So you could start with the vertical, or take a smaller strip if you have the beard and go with a strip in the middle, but that gives you a bit of space on the sides. So that was a little smaller strip in the middle, giving you a bit of space either side, a bit like that vertical one. So you get over that, you don't have that feeling of like, I feel like I'm suffocating. If you feel like you're suffocating, you're stressing out, that's not going to give you a relaxed, restful night's sleep either. That makes sense? So couple of options to work with there. And then the thing that you want to do if you've never done this before is in the evening when you're chilling out, you're reading a book, watching TV, whatever it is, but like an hour or so, a couple of hours before bed, you put a little piece on, however you want to do, have an experiment, play with it, and just get used to, whilst you're awake and conscious, just what is it like to feel like I've got this tape on my mouth, rather than just doing it straight away when you're in bed and it feeling a bit weird when you're in bed, and then you just lying there and after a bit just pulling it off because it just feels a bit too weird and you're not used to it. So get used to it in the evening, just for a little bit whilst you're just doing the dishes, or you're just watching TV, reading a book, whatever it is. Just get used to it in that sort of normal environment whilst you're awake and conscious, and you can start to think about breathing through your nose. 10-15 minutes whilst you're lying in bed, start to lighten that breath in and out through the nose, lighten it, relax, prolong those exhales to get you into that parasympathetic state, so that rest, digest, relaxation state, and have a better, more restful recovery of sleep because of you taking control and changing the habits of how you breathe, softening that breath, slowing it down, but then making sure that it stays from the nose because you're keeping your mouth closed with the help of some tape. Do let us know how you get on with this. Let me know in the comments. If you have any questions that you want to, you can email me direct at davidjacksonfitness@gmail.com. If you haven't subscribed, hit up on the subscribe thing over here, And if you're interested in the online workshops that I'm running over a course of 3 weeks via Zoom, then do email me. The details for that are in the description below. And we've got some new courses running every month. And demand is quite high, and I keep the groups quite small. So do make sure you get in touch via email if you are interested in them. And look forward to seeing you either at a workshop online or on the next video. Sleep well, and I'll see you next time.